Hi everyone, welcome to All One Sun. From one come all. Now, my topic today is how to raise your vibration and your frequency and knowing the difference. Um, Now, all of us that are seeking truth, light, and wisdom and are looking to ascend, this is very important to us, is holding our vibrations, raising our vibration for one, holding it, and also raising our frequency. Now, before I go into frequencies and vibrations, I would like you to know that there is two types of awakening that is occurring on our planet today. For some, it is a social awakening, meaning that we are people that are awakening to the corruption of their government and for the heinous crimes that have committed against humanity. Okay? And then there's a spiritual awakening. There are those that are just getting that push on their life to become more connected to one, to source energy, to develop their inner abilities, their inner strength, their powers, their God-given powers. So there's a difference. And with some, it doesn't matter which way it happens. Some happens where the spiritual awakening is first, and actually some of those people actually knew that there was a corruption before, and then some they develop the knowing of what their government is doing and the corruption, and then move on over to the spiritual side. But it doesn't matter either way that it happens. The thing is, how do you raise your vibration? Because that is the key right now. The government their job is to prevent you from raising your vibration and raising your frequency. Okay? Now, how do you raise your vibration? That is the first thing. Your vibration is your thought, your energy that goes out, okay, into the universe, that sends, like a code, sending a message, okay, and that allows you to create. Now, once you raise your vibration, you raise your frequency. Now, your frequency is the speed in which you create. Okay? The more you are vibrating at a higher frequency, the faster you will manifest things, the faster things will create. You can create things and things will happen. And not just things outside of you, but also within you. Your ascension will also speed up. So those are the two differences. That's the difference. Your vibration is your love vibration, and it goes either way. You could be a negative vibration if that's where you're vibrating on. That will. The only difference is that your frequency is limited as a negative entity. Your frequency only can go so high, and then it starts to destroy itself. Okay? However, an enlightened soul who is looking at the path of love energy, it's endless. Now, anyone who's resonating at a negative energy, like say for instance our government right now, the people, the shadow government that is working behind. The reason why they totally haven't destroyed themselves right now is actually because of us. because we have a most people innately have a are love and are good people, and that vibration is still in our society. So there is some balance there. Now, if everybody becomes that way, total evil, then it will destroy itself eventually. It cannot sustain itself. Okay, so how do you raise your vibration? The first thing that you should do is meditate. Quiet your mind. Get into a place and quiet. That's going to be a little bit hard in the beginning. So my suggestion to you is just sit. Sit. Put on something soft. Actually, even without anything, just sit and just look at the outside. Just look at nature. Look at something. Go by the lake and just sit quietly. Whatever it is, just sit quietly and just absorb what you can see that is beautiful. So anything that will in nature that would help you relax, do it. And just relax quietly. Now, after you've done that for a while, your body and your mind will get used to being in a kind of a relaxed situation. And then once you do that, just sit and just stare pick something and stare at it and focus. Just focus on that dot, a tree or whatever, and just sit and focus and quiet. You can play music, soft music if you want, or a softer type of music that you particularly like. The whole idea is to get you in the habit or consistency of being able to relax. When you're switching over to somewhere, now I'm only suggesting if you are seeking an awakening, if you feel like you are being driven to do this, then by all means do this. Now, if for whatever reason that you're just seeing friends and stuff for it that are becoming enlightened and you're just trying to do it because this may not be for you and it lasts. It's like the same thing like I always tell people, if you're looking to become a vegan, this is something that has to come from within you for it to sustain itself. You can't do it because you see other people doing it and it seems like it's a trend. If you're trying to do it from outwardly instead of something that is driving you from within, it's not going to last and it's not for you. I met a woman and she, I think she started the, I don't know, the keto diet, whatever, for a while. I think she did for 3 years and now she wanted to go on to vegan. But anyway, that kind of helped her to now make the switch over to vegan. Well, it's not she is vegan now. It's the same thing like, when I love drinking coffee. I know I'm not supposed to, and I just love it, and I keep going back to it. I've weaned myself off of it, and I would keep going back. And whenever I'm weaning myself off, because whenever I just try to stop, it gives me this horrible headache, because of course the caffeine opens up your blood vessels, and when you stop in your head, and when you stop to drink it, they contract, and it puts pressure on your head, and you get these horrible headaches. So what I normally would do now is mix decaf with regular, even though they both have caffeine, but I would mostly do decaf. And then eventually what I do is just switch over to decaf, and I would mix it with some cocoa or whatever, and then I would switch over to a green tea with caffeine. So the whole idea about that story is just to say that there is a process. However, everyone, it's not going to be the same for everyone. So you have to figure out what is going to work for you. So sometimes jumping in to make a change is not always the best thing, because you could sabotage that. So you want to gradually move it, and this is why even in our journey as enlightenment, everything is done in stages, whether you know it or not or realize it. Once you enter into that path, there is a stage, there's stages. So anyway, so to build your vibration, as I said before, meditation, okay, and we want to continue to just, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought here for a moment. So as you build your vibration, because you're building your vibration first, and to build your vibration is meditation. You build it with meditation, and I showed you the different way that you can continue, that you can ease into meditation by doing those little steps to get yourself into where you can now sit down, either listen to your breath, listen to some music, and now meditate. And once you meditate, you tap into yourself, into your higher self. And I don't know, with everybody it's different. For me, when I meditate, I just, the whole idea is just to be relaxed. And when I relax, things happen. I may see wonderful colors. It's like I'm going on a journey. It is so beautiful. And then in that moment, I see pictures. I will get visions, sometimes words. Like I was saying, it's different every time, but the main thing is just to go into my universe, which is inside. The best way that I can say it is this: if you were to sit outside and you look and you observe all the beauty that is around you, like say if you were to go to the ocean and you look at the sea, and there's gardens around you, it's a beautiful ocean, there's falls, waterfalls, and the nature is beautiful, and there's caves, and you're seeing the dolphins, and you're just admiring all the beauty, and you see the seagulls, and just beautiful nature around you. Well, when you relax and be silent, now you're tapping into the beauty of your inner self. You're taking that time of quiet to tap into your inner beauty, the inner life, this universe that's within. That's the way I look at it. I'm sharing that with you to say that when you sit down to meditate, just think of you going inside to your universe inside. Okay? All right, so when you do that now, as you build that, there is also literatures. Listen to other people who have some enlightenment. So the more you listen to other people, which is what you're doing, is feeding the fuel. Like there's a fire, right? And you have like a gasoline, and you may put more to feed it, or you have oxygen to feed it. You have it outside. If you start covering it, you may actually smother the thing. So the fire. So you want to feed what is it you want to continue to have, which is enlightenment. So you want to read anything that will give you more knowledge and enlightenment. You want to listen to videos or movies, anything that so you want to do more of that and less of what's in the world. So minimize if you watch TV, you really want to cut that out as much as possible. Your music, you must be very careful about your music. So if you're listening to stuff that is talking about, women in a vulgar way, thing. Those are lower vibrational thing. I hope you don't hear that because that's a dog walking back and forth. So those are dealing with stuff in a very low vibration. Things that are talking about women in a very negative way. They're using foul language. Of course, those are negative. It's negative and it's of a lower vibration. So where do you think that's going to take your vibration? It's going to take your vibration lower. And then when your vibration is lower, what do you tend to do? You tend to be angry. You tend to be frustrated a lot easier. Your patience is not good. You are very easy to get, again, angry, frustrated. You know, you don't have a calm about you. All those things are lower vibrational things. So you want to listen to the thing that is going to what do you call it? Raise your vibration. So when you'll notice your vibration is being raised when you can deal with people on the outside a lot better. Instead of you getting upset at something that somebody used to say to you, now you're calmer and now you're able to walk away, or you're able now to approach that a little bit differently, and in the way that you communicate with someone. You will see the difference in your attitude, in the way that you interact with other people or situations. If you go to someone and they are, let's see, you want information at a person, and you can tell they're agitated. You didn't do anything, you just woke up and you're asking a question. So, and, you know, they're a little bit, whatever, short. So what I normally do, especially when I go to like a register and I see a woman they're just attitude, I just go, hey, is everything okay? Are you okay today? Or always say, are you, yeah, I like that. And there's like, be like, ugh, I'm just tired or something like that. And that breaks the ice. And then I can totally see their composure just change because somebody asked them, are you okay? Or is everything okay? And that just totally break, because some people, what they'll do is just look at that word and it's like, wow, well, if you don't like your job, why are you working here? That's the difference between somebody who's operating out of love, or their vibration is a little bit higher than somebody who's not. Total difference. So you'll start to see your change. Now, based on your vibration, as you increase the vibration meaning your thoughts, your vibration of your thoughts of what you're thinking will lead to your action, and that's raising your vibration. What you're feeding yourself is raising your vibration to become more loving, to become more Christ-like, and tap it into that. As you tap into that spiritual energy, that Christ-like higher head, now your frequency will start to increase. As your frequency start to increase, now you have more control and discipline in yourself. Now, whenever you are purposefully manifesting your life, those things will start to happen quick, faster, because you're operating now at a higher frequency. I hope that makes sense. This is the way I understand it. People may explain that differently, but this is the way that I've come to know the difference between frequency and vibration. Frequency create. If you see, they have a picture where they do a thing with, and I should have probably looked that up, I didn't think about it until now. They have this thing where they increase the vibe, and I think they have sand, I'm not sure if it's sand, and based on the frequency, the sand would form a particular form. shape, because all of us are resonating. The stone, the trees, and stuff like that. They're all operating on a different frequency. Okay, frequency create and it forms, and all of us are operating on a different frequency. Okay, and now as we as humans who can control that frequency, because we have the power within ourselves to create, now that's different. We're either high, we're operating, I mean, we have a frequency that of course keeps our image, the way that we look. Okay, that's a frequency that is just there. However, once we learn how to harness the power of our frequency, oh my gosh, now you're looking at magic. Now you're looking at, oh, what you would not be able to think of. How do I know this? Doesn't mean that this is something that you know. Once you tap into your inner self, you already have this knowledge. So even though you have this knowledge, now based on where I am right now, I have to be able to practice and tap into that experience to create. Now, have I tapped into it? I've tapped into it every so often, and I've seen and I've experienced little things that, wow, it's like, whoa, it's like awesome things. I'll give you an example. This second time around, when I started to feel like this call on my life to come back to my spirituality, I of course was meditating a lot, feeding myself all the just everything that I'm telling you about, information in regard to spirituality, just everything positive, what I listened to, everything. And I remember one time I was supposed to go and meet some friends. We were going to go watch the fireworks. I love fireworks. And I was in my car and I was waiting for her, and she was taking a little bit longer than expected. So I just laid back and was just relaxing, meditating. I had the music on. And so as I'm laying there, as I'm just kind of have my head back, I had a vision. I had a vision that the phone rang, and it was her. And I saw the phone in my vision. I saw the phone. I saw her name, and I answered the phone. And I knew that she wasn't going to come again. So I got up out of the vision, and as I got up out of the vision, I knew the phone was going to ring. I was just sitting there waiting for it to ring because I knew it was going to ring because I had that vision, and so I knew she was going to call. And probably about, I'm not sure, 2-3 minutes after, she called, and she said she wasn't going to show up. There was another incident that happened, which I don't really want to talk about right now. But I'll tell you another incident where my little cousin, I don't even think she can remember this, but they were living at in an apartment, and she was, I think this was just before my mom passed away, and she was looking for something in the kitchen, and she asked me if I knew where it was, and I said no. And as soon as I said no, I said it should be in there, but pretty much as soon as I said no, I saw where it was. I saw a vision of it exactly where it was in the corner, and I said, "Oh, I think it's right there." Blah blah blah. I didn't tell her that I never saw it, but I said, "I think it's like right there in the corner." Blah blah. And she looked up, bam, and there it was. So when you raise, and I had just started out raising my frequency. And I can go on. There's so many other experience. And then I think what it was that I started to have certain doubts. I mean, I was having these a lot of experience, but then I started to have doubts about certain things. And then that pulled me back. That pulled my frequency down and pulled my frequency back. Um, because you cannot operate in doubt. You have to be very confident and very positive about who you are and yourself. And so it had to take me back in a way to, and that will happen sometimes in your transformation as you're growing. You may run into an area where you have doubts because I was starting to be unsure about some of the things that I was learning, some of the voices, if you want to say that, that you're hearing and what it's telling you, and you start to have doubts. And I hear a couple other people talk about that. So you don't know, and it becomes a little bit of confusion. Of course, you're coming from Christianity too. You're like, oh my gosh, God, is that you? Is it, So you're having all this because you're making this transition from this belief in Christianity and God and all of this to this spirituality and believing that the power is within you, because it says the kingdom is within, and to harness that power. And so now you're making this transition, and it's kind of, and I think what I see a lot of Christians people do who are making that switch over into spirituality is that they become unsure, and what they do is that they go back to what they know is safe, and they go back to Christianity. I have a friend that's happening right now, but even though she's kind of holding on to the spirituality a little bit, but she's tapping back because she said, I noticed when I switched to Christianity, switched to spirituality, everything was going wrong in my life. And then now I switch back to Christianity and everything is better, because that's her comfort zone. That's where she was safe. My spirit tells me, though, that I should press through. If I embrace what I know and my spirituality and I press through, then it will manifest itself to me, and I will have clarity in what I know. But she didn't press through. She just stopped where she was, because now she created there was a block, or she was kind of, her lifestyle was changing, and she didn't want to let that go. There's a part in the Bible that said would you lose to lose yourself or whatever. I don't even can't remember what that means right now. I think if you get from it, some of you might get what I'm actually going at with this. But sometimes that's what happens to some of us who are going into spirituality, that you'll find yourself just starting to actually lose a lot of the stuff around you that you care for, because you have to get rid of the old. The old has to go away. That's one of the things when you are manifesting and changing and changing over into spirituality, that old life has to go. And when some people start to see that whole life is going, they get afraid. And so they go back into what they are comfortable with. And that starts to work better for them. And if you go, oh, see, this works better. But I found that I'm supposed to press through. And so I can tell you, press through. Just keep on going, because I was at the point where I felt that everything was just falling apart around me, and I'm like, I get the same way too. It's like I can go back to Christianity, go back to what I know, but what I was being told was no, stay your course, do what is it that you know you're supposed to do, and continue to press forward. And I eventually start to see the changes in my life that's happening. And now I can only say that now I'm prepared that there's going to be a lot more changes. So guys, that's it for today. I'm going to tell you, thank you so much for tuning in. Please, if this resonate with you, if you've learned anything from this, hit the like button, share, subscribe. I thank you so much for being here with me. And thank you, and you have a wonderful day, and tune in again, okay? Much love and peace.